So this piece of equipment is called the Liquoguard. This is what the neurosurgeon will use for diagnosing NPH, normal pressure hydrocephalus. A lumbar catheter will be placed in the patient's lumbar region in the OR by the neurosurgeon, and when they arrive to the unit, you're going to get this pump, and the tubing that comes with the pump looks like this. This piece will be attached to the patient's lumbar catheter in their back, and then you're going to plug this portion into here, and then you're going to have to load the tubing into the top of the machine. So you want to flip up this panel here. You're going to attach the first part of the catheter in here, and then you want to go to your screen, and this will pop up, turn rotor. So you have to press and hold it down and just let it take in the catheter tubing. Okay, and go ahead and close it. And you're going to have to attach your CSF bag to this port, and then that'll just hook on the side of the machine over here. Okay, so once we have that all attached, you're going to look at your doctor's order, and it's going to say drain 5 to 10 cc's an hour of CSF. So you're going to go to your V set, V for volume, and we'll set it to 10 cc's an hour. Okay. When you're charting your volume in Epic, first you're going to have to go under your I's and O's and add in your lumbar drain. That's like an LDA. And then you're going to be charting hourly CSF, the color, and you're also going to be looking at the patient's dressing on their lumbar region, making sure that there's no CSF leaking around there and that the dressing's dry and your catheter is intact. You're going to be doing this every hour. So when you come in here to check your volume, how much it's put out in the last hour, you go to history, volumes, and then you're going to have to manually put in here. So for instance, we'll go from 1900, you go 19 semicolon 00, enter, and then to 2000, don't forget the semicolon, enter, and then you would hit calculate, and that'll show you what it put out for the last hour. So you should be getting around 10 cc's an hour, maybe like 9.8, but something around there. Okay, so for some reason you're not getting your volume, your CSF is showing 0 for that hour, make sure that you've hit play. Okay, so this was made in Europe, so it's a little backwards. We're used to it being the other way around. So that is pause, and it'll say on the screen, so you want to hit the pause button. Now you're in play when you see that going. So always make sure you're in play, that it's actually running. You may get some alarms. The big alarms you'll hear is low pressure, no pulsation, or low flow alarms. So in that case, what the big things are, it's usually your catheter is kinked, it's become clogged or dislodged. So you also may need to adjust your high and low alarms right here, which you can adjust, we'll just say to 25, down to 4. You can go as low as 0, I believe. So you don't want it alarming all shift. You have to adjust them. So the supplies you want to keep at the bedside is a sterile gauze and sterile hemostats in case it ever becomes dislodged. You would clamp at the lumbar drain, the spinal drain, the one coming out of the patient's spine, with sterile gauze, and then the hemostat on top of that. And you would call the neurosurgeon, write a note, and put in a safety always report. You never ever want to let the patient get out of bed unattended with family, and they have to get out of bed with a nurse only. And some of the signs and symptoms of CSF loss would be headache, nausea, vomiting, neck pain and stiffness, blurry vision, facial numbness, dizziness, cognitive decline, and worst case scenario, herniation. Again, if your catheter ever becomes dislodged and you've clamped it and everything, make sure you keep the patient flat in the bed before you call the neurosurgeon.